situation. I've got a brand new monitor that I'm going to put into my desk menagerie. The only problem is, this is the monitor stand. It's not going to work. I'd have to have it off here somewhere. But I think I've come up with a solution. This stand was a fun thing to design, and I think a lot of people could benefit from it. I'll show you all the steps on how I took this extension boom for a monitor and made it into a stand for pretty much about $20 to $30. The rest of it was throwaway junk that I kept from going into the dump and used it instead to create something new. I've been thinking about different designs, but it all really started with this broken chair. The back had fallen off. It was time to go to the dump. But I saw potential in this piece right here. I think I can use this for another project. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to put a television monitor on this system. So I'm looking at it. I said, well, I'll cut that into there. And many times it comes out to the easy answer. This comes off. Not sure what I'm going to do with this, if anything. But this little piece of the puzzle is what I needed to make the monitor stand. Now let's go to a top-down shot and get into the modifications. I'll post all the materials down below that I use. This monitor stand is like the stock market. I've bought at least 5 of these things. The price ranged anywhere from $20 on a super special lightning deal to $27, I think I paid the most for it. If you put it in your wish list and just wait for it to come down in price, that will probably work for you. The actual design of this for the table, and it works great, is this. And it comes in here like this, and it mounts like that, and it has a great extension, and it comes up and down. But for this installation, there's a couple things that I had to figure out. First of all, I got this big hole here. I took a 2-inch hole saw, and this is a 2 1/8 inch hole saw, and made a bunch of holes out of scrap wood. This hole saw kit that I got from Harbor Freight is just well worth the money. I think I paid $15 for it, another super special deal, and I've used it hundreds of times. Pretty much all of the different size holes for one project or another. This top one here is the 2 1/8 inch one. When you're measuring the hole, you got to kind of figure it out. So this is the cap. The hole actually slopes down like this. On the bottom you need the 2-inch holes, and you're just kind of making a structural framework. This is designed to go into a hole in a desk. Put this in the top, pounded it down, put these 2 guys in the bottom, ran this into the top, and pushed it down so that it was nice and flush on top. And this is a little sleeve that goes over the top. So you're going to pound that down a little bit to make sure that these are all right on the surface of the plastic top here. That's pretty important. Those spacers help keep it from wobbling around and make it strong. And then you just put this piece on like this. I'm making this look real easy, and it is once you figure it out. So you get to benefit from all my experiences. I want to have that as short as possible and have as much of it in here that I can, so I'm just going to twist it till I have just enough to put this on here. So I've got the lock washer on there to help cinch this down. Putting on this wing nut, tighten it down as much as I can with my hands. You don't want to break the wing nut until it doesn't want to give anymore. And you want to line this up so that you take advantage of the plastic structure in here, and that's all lying flat on the structure itself. And that's looking pretty good. And the reason why I put this hole here is because my experience, when you extend it out, it's going to have a tendency to tilt the rig if you're not careful in some circumstances. You always want to point this out in the opposite direction of this hole right here. What's the post made out of? It's a 3/4 inch piece of PVC, 1.5 inches long, a 1-inch 1/4 inch washer, 3 1/4 inch bolt, another washer, a 1 1/4 inch diameter washer, and then a nylon lock nut. You can see there's all this structure here, so I just drilled straight through. And this is just a synthetic cork that I drilled a hole through to give it some structure. Put a little bit of curve to match the curve of the leg of the chair. And using the structure as a support element, and then just lock that down nice and tight. From the end of the chair, the center line for the hole is 3 1/4 inches, about 9 centimeters. So this is the camera stand. Here's what the monitor stand looks like. Now compared to my camera stand, this was a little different structure. I was able to use a shorter 1/4 inch bolt, same configuration. For the camera rig, I'm using an old steel pole that I had off of a lamp. And it actually twists together, and that's why I like it for the camera rig, because you can break it down. It's in 20-inch sections. That's nice and tight. Because of the connection points, it's maybe not as strong as this, which is a piece of 1-inch electrical conduit. And here I just put some hockey tape around it, and this line represents where it goes into the hole. So it will go in just like this, and I'll show it a little later. For the camera mount, I didn't have to use any kind of tape because, lucky for me, this slides just right into the regular monitor stand and just extends it out to about 6 feet. For the monitor arm, I was able to just use some felt pieces about the length of this here, which is about 2 inches, and I just put those in place. Right now I have 2, a little too loose, so I'm going to actually add another one. These are felt pads. The long ones here is what I'm using for this application. So you peel this off and then just insert it into the hole here. In this case, I'm just going to put it here on the side. And then do a fit check on the pole. And you can loosen and tighten this nut here to help with the initial installation. And then ideally, so move that on there like that. Yeah, okay. So there's the 3. And you got a nice fluid motion there, which is what I wanted for the camera. For the monitor arm, what I did is I took 1-inch Schedule 20 PVC pipe, cut a 3/8 inch gap out, used some gaffer's tape, and then I'm following the seam here and just put that in there to make up the difference. Depending on what pole you use, either a felt slider or this method here. And the hardest part is just getting the initial pole on. You can see that slides around a good bit, but this bolt is all the way out. So once I clamp that down, it's not going to move much at all. That's pretty tight. And for the monitor stand, you may not want to move it too much. You'll probably fix that and it'll be okay. And then you can adjust the height and how far the monitor goes in and out using this for the extension arm. This monitor stand arm with the original piece that I've now mounted on the old bottom part of the chair is designed for 20 pounds and a 32-inch monitor. My monitor is a 32-inch monitor weighing around 11 pounds. So I'm well within the strength on this, but I'm a little concerned about the tipping. We're gonna test it with some counterweights to verify this design before we put the monitor on it. Here's my monitor stand, here's my post. I'm gonna put it in, just slide it around a little bit, push it down, and I want it to be a tight fit so it doesn't wobble. Now that's pretty good. I've taken a 10-pound weight and a 2.5-pound weight. I'm going to put it on here representing my monitor because I don't want to lose my monitor without testing first. If I'm in alignment with the pole in the monitor or close to it, it's not going anywhere. It's going to be a pretty stable situation. But if I take it out far as I can, don't like that at all, because then my monitor is going to crash down. Now it's going to hit the desk, so maybe it's not a big deal as opposed to it just sitting out there. So this is where the post comes in. I'm putting a 5-pound weight on there and a 2.5-pound weight. It's not tipping over anymore. I can take this all the way, move it around, and it's pretty stable. Now, how many times am I going to have my monitor out that far? Probably not too many, but I'm designing for worst case. So now that I have this figured out, it's time to install the monitor and put this stand in place. I tilted the stand over, and I'm mating it up with the monitor to screw it in place, and then I'll stand it up and move it back into the office. The kit comes with the screws for mounting, but I just used the ones that were screwed into the back of the monitor so that I knew it would fit. And it's a perfect match. This would work great in a home, in an apartment, in your bedroom. It just has so many different options with this stand. And now it's just a matter of rolling it into the office. I was able to slide it under the desk. Here's the counterweight, although I'm not sure I need it when it's under the desk. Less of a trip hazard, and this is where I'm going to start it out, but I could raise it up. Here's the desk configuration in place, and it gives back this area that would have been clobbered by the monitor and a potential stand for phones, drinks, mouse pad, whatever you have. This is an example of What some people would throw away, you can make into something useful that's going to help you around the house. Thumbs up and comments always appreciated. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in all sorts of designs of electronics, sports gear, photography equipment, designs of all kinds, making and breaking things. I even do costumes, cosplay, and props. Check out my channel and please subscribe, because you never know what solutions and ideas you might see.